Good morning to you. Thank you so much for finding time to be with us today. The show is Good Morning Africa, and we get to bring you the latest from indeed the continent, but especially from Kenya as we go through the leading newspapers headlines this morning and the leading stories in Kenya. And of course, the leading story in the country this morning, the elections that took place yesterday, and so we shall be getting into the details of that from some of the constituencies and the two counties that had the elections yesterday, and we will be looking at the results for those who've been able to do their tallies early. My name is Miriam Ogutu. Good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you're watching and tuned in. Let me just take us through the headlines this morning. The Daily Nation. The main headline, the buck stops here. William Ruto was declared president-elect by Mr. Wafula Chebukati, but was soon afterwards confronted with a barrage of petitions against his victory. This court case is perhaps the biggest battle of his political career. And then Raila Odinga argues in court filings that Mr. Ruto didn't achieve the constitutional threshold of victory and wants the Supreme Court to order a recount of valid votes or a rerun, so long as the current IEBC does not run the show. Other stories on page 4 and 5. Chaos and low voter turnout in Kakamega and Mombasa elections. The race to succeed Hassan Joho in Mombasa and Wycliffe Oparanya in Kakamega ended up being a flexing of muscle between Raila and Ruto camps, and as thousands lined up to vote yesterday, there were claims of voter bribery and ballot stuffing across the political divide that resulted in sporadic incidents of violence. Abdul Samad Nasir ODM and Hassan Omar UDA faced off in Mombasa, while Cleophas Malala ANC and Fernandez Baraza ODM battled it out in Kakamega, and we shall get into the details of that in a short while. That story is on page 2 and 3. Deadly search for water. Healthy Nation, I think that is a special coverage on that issue on the Daily Nation inside pages there. The Standard newspaper, the main headline, security chiefs a fight of rigging claims. Head of Public Service, who chairs the National Security Organ, tells Apex Court they were worried about tensions building in the country due to delays in announcing results and not the outcome when they approached IEBC. Raila also says Chebukati and Ruto have failed to counter allegations of interference. That story is on page 4 and 5 on the Standard. Sakaja kicks out KRA from county revenue collection. That was expected. The story is on page 25. Russia, China to hold war games. That is on page 34. Ruto lock out IEBC 4 from case. President-elect asks a Supreme Court to expunge affidavits from commissioners who fell out of their chairman. And I think by right now, that story, I think the court has already made its judgment on that, and that prayer has been denied by the Supreme Court, and we shall be looking at the details of that shortly. ODM leads in Mombasa and Kakamega races. The poll results as at 11:30 p.m. According to the Standard, Abdul Samad Nasir was leading, and Hassan Omar, and of course in Kakamega that is as well. So we shall update you about the latest there once we get into the latest figures from those two places and other places also that elections took place yesterday. The Star newspaper, the main headline, why Petition is Litmus test for 7 judges. Top security organ fights off Chebukati link to poll doctoring demands. That story is on page 4 and 5. We went to Chebukati after he ignored calls. NSAC tells court. That is on page 7, and then the rest are just opinion pieces by different writers here. So thank you so much. You are now up to date. Let me see if I can get us some newspapers from across the continent this morning. I don't have them, but all right. So there you go. Thank you so much. A very good morning to you. We are joined this morning by Samuel Sawish, our in-house journalist and analyst. I don't know where he's joining us from this morning, but he will let us know. Tawish, a very good morning to you.
A very good morning indeed to you, Miriam Ogutu, at our communication headquarters. Good morning to my colleague panelists. And of course, all the viewers watching this program in Kenya, Africa, and the rest of the world. It is indeed my great pleasure to join you on this program this morning. And my apologies, I've been off and on for some time now due to some personal issues. But again, it's quite a great pleasure to be back and joining you on this program this morning. And indeed, I'm coming to you live from Busia County, where, of course, we'll be looking into the submissions and the ongoing case at the Supreme Court, and most specifically how it's going to pan out, how the lawyers of both sides, that is the Azimio la Umoja, One Kenya coalition, and on the other side, the Kenya Kwanza coalition, that is of the Deputy President and the President-elect William Ruto, will be able to argue their case today before the Supreme Court, I think, as they kick off their submissions. It is going to be very, very interesting listening into the submissions and the kind of cases and how the counter argument that the other side or the respondents are going to have in as far as this particular case is concerned at the Supreme Court. So basically, Miriam, that is it. But the people of Busia specifically are waiting with bated breath. They want to see how this is going to turn out. Remember, these are parts, some of the former Prime Minister and Azimio la Umoja, One Kenya coalition presidential candidate stronghold, or bastions, if you like. And the people in this particular county are really waiting eagerly to see how the events at the Supreme Court are going to pan out, and hopefully, probably, either the election is going to be nullified, or there's going to be the court is going to order a recount of the votes, and probably it's only their prayer that maybe Raila Amolo Odinga is finally going to be maybe declared the winner of this presidential election that was just concluded. But it's all a matter of wait and see. To see how this is going to be argued in the Supreme Court. Miriam, over to you.
Okay, thank you so much indeed. And it is a developing story. And of course, some of the headlines from the stories that I've just read through the leading newspapers this morning, a lot of these have changed. And like one prayer from Ruto's team to lock out IEBC 4 from case. I think the court has already ruled on that. And what the prayer also from a former Gatundu South Member of Parliament, also that was struck out. And there was something else. The presidential candidate, Wahiga, who also wanted to be included in this case, I think the court also struck out, and among other issues yesterday, but we shall get into the details of that. Douglas Kirimi, a very good morning to you.
A very good morning to you, Miriam Ogutu, to my friend Tawish Olesisana, and also Captain Savenia, our crew at our headquarters. And our friends across the world, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, depending on where they're watching us from. And thank you for having me on the show, Miriam. Today, our eyes are set at the Supreme Court of the Republic of Kenya. We have been waiting for this day. The D-Day is here. The day has come for us to know the truth. What happened in this election? What happened really? Was this election stolen? Did the people win free and fair? And it also subjects this election to a lot of questions, Miriam. It has been said that elections were stolen even from MCA level, governor, senators, and all that. Are we going to do a proper introspection of what happened? Are we going to investigate what really happened? Are we going for a rerun? Are we going to declare William Ruto as the president-elect? Is he going to be sworn in? Is Raila going to be sworn in as president of the Republic of Kenya? Are we going for fresh elections in this country? All right. Or is at the Supreme Court of the Republic of Kenya? Thank you.
Very well, thank you so much. And we're also joined by Kiptanui Savania from Nakuru County. Kiptanui, good morning to you.
Good morning to you. Good morning to you, Miriam Ogutu. Good morning to my brother Tarwish. Good morning to Douglas, our crew in headquarters in Nairobi. I'm joining you live from Nakuru County. Miriam, today is actually the day that we've been waiting for. So many people have been waiting for this day, Miriam, so that we know, as my brothers have said, so that we know what actually happened. What actually happened on these elections, Miriam, so that this country will move on. There are so many people that are waiting for this, Miriam. All voters who they woke up early in the morning to go and cast our vote, Miriam. We are waiting for this day so that we see. We have seen a lot of affidavit. We've seen a lot of the prayers, and we are actually waiting so that at the end of this week, by next week Monday, we'll have known the direction of this country, Miriam. Thank you for having me this morning.
Very well, nice to have you. So just before we get into some of the headlines this morning, of course, an update on the elections that took place yesterday. David Mwalika of Wiper beats UDA candidate to retain Kitui Rural MP seat. That was from yesterday's election. And Paul Chibor wins Rongai MP race. And I think beating Moi. And then I'm trying to look at the rest of the... okay. Of course, Paul Chibor of the United Democratic Alliance has won the Rongai seat, like I said, and he garnered about 27,021 votes. And Titus Lote of Kenya Union Party, KUP, wins Kacheliba MP seat in West Pokot, and his party is allied to Azimio in West Pokot County with 20,073 votes, and UDA's Mark Lamonokol comes second with 17,963 votes. And we are still waiting. According to the Standard, their latest update, ODM's Abdul Samad Nasir is in the lead in Mombasa governor race, and also I think also in Kakamega, Baraza, who is the ODM candidate, is also leading in that race, but we have not gotten the final tally, so we really can't call that. So we are waiting for the final figures from those places that we've still not had. So I'll just reiterate a couple of things I said earlier. The Supreme Court has rejected 3 applications. The first one was Ruto's quest to bar LSK from the case. So the Supreme Court rejected that. And then Agano's plea to join petition, that was also rejected, and application to lock out individual IEBC commissioners. So that is where we start our conversation this morning. So what will that mean to perhaps Ruto's team? I'll start with you, Tawish. Tawish, can you hear me?
Yes, indeed, Miriam, I can hear you.
Yeah.
And it is evident sorry, Miriam?
Yeah, the 3 petitions that were struck out. That's why we're starting our conversations from this morning.
Yeah, sure. Miriam, the Supreme Court and generally the judges, the judicial system does not work maybe according to our emotions. And clearly it is evident when you see how politicians have been have tried to politicize the whole, of course, the Supreme Court process, or the presidential petition, election petition rather. And there's been so much of interest coming from various categories of politicians, also drawn from the Azimio la Umoja and Kenya Kwanza coalition. You've specifically mentioned the case of one Moses Kuria, the immediate former MP for Gatundu South constituency, and others, whose, of course, application to be enjoined in this particular Supreme Court case has been struck out. And I think it is on merit that those petitions or applications by those particular interest groups have been struck out. And also we need to be cognizant of the fact that the Supreme Court has only 14 days to be able to deliberate on this particular presidential election petition. And therefore, if you are going to accommodate as many politicians as possible, as many interests as possible, then it's going to really make it difficult even for the Supreme Court itself to be able to have enough time to listen into the submissions, the petitions, and of course the counter, of course, submissions from the respondents. In that, by the end of the day, we need to see the people with the key interest in this particular petition really given ample time to be able to argue their case, instead of having so many sideshows and so many joyriders in the name of being interested parties being enjoined in this particular case. So it is on merit that the Supreme Court judges chose really to strike out such applications. And I think moving forward, we want to see how this can be done swiftly, and so that by the end of the day, Kenyans are able to move on with their lives. You are able to get to understand the gist of all this presidential election, and generally the petition that has been brought forth by the Raila Amolo Odinga-led Azimio la Umoja, in that if Deputy President William Ruto was validly elected, as was declared by IEBC, we then have to move forward and really swear him in as the next or the 5th president of the Republic of Kenya. And if the judges in their contrary view feel like maybe this election was not done in accordance with the law and the constitution of the land, probably they will order they will have to annul this election and order a recount, or probably a recount of the votes, or Kenyans should brace themselves for yet another fresh presidential election. So either way, I think the court was also trying just to play mitigative measures to make sure that we are not going to have so many people who are just but going to misuse the court's time, and of course the time frame which has been provided by the Constitution for this case to be determined. So I think generally it is an issue of trying to balance between which interest groups or individuals really are very key in this particular matter, and also looking into the issue of the time frame that is provided in the Constitution in as far as the liberation of such petitions are concerned. So it is indeed on merit that the court struck out those particular applications. Miriam, I submit.
All right, so thank you so much. Before I bring in Douglas, let me just bring us a background on why Ruto did not want these four commissioners to be, to lock out the individual IEBC commissioners, and why he did not want the LSK to be part of that case. On today's Standard newspaper, Deputy President William Ruto now wants the court to lock out 4 independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission IEBC commissioners from the election petition filed by Azimio la Umoja One Kenya coalition presidential candidate Raila Odinga and his running mate Martha Karua. In his application filed at the Supreme Court, Ruto argues that the commissioners who disowned Wafula Chebukati's declaration that he is the winner want to use their responses in order to prejudice him. IEBC Vice Chair Juliana Cherera, Justice Nyang'aya, Francis Wanderi, and Irene Masit disowned Chebukati's results, claiming that he operated solo and in an opaque process. Although the 4 are against Chebukati's declaration, Ruto's lawyers, now that is where it gets very interesting, Ruto's lawyers have named Boya Molu, Abdi Gulie, Nyang'aya and Cherera as those who are at loggerheads with Chebukati, and they have left out Wanderi and Masit. So the 3rd to the 6th respondent, that is Molu, Gulie, Nyang'aya and Cherera, are at loggerheads with the 2nd respondent Chebukati, and they intend to use their response to advance accusations, new claims and innuendos solely intended to prejudice the 9th president. Is it the 9th respondent? Okay, should be the 5th. President-elect. Now, the application filed by Kithure Kindiki advocates reads in part, and of course, the update on that case is that the Supreme Court rejected that application. So why would they leave those 2 commissioners and include others who, I think, from what we've been seeing, have been in support of what of Chebukati and what transpired during and after the election? Why would they leave these 2, Douglas?
Thank you, Miriam. For the very basic reason that they support William Ruto's announcement as the president-elect from the results. And also, it is very interesting to see how William Ruto is handling his case and also his responses. We've seen William Ruto become a man that is that arrogantly describes people in a court of law like failures and also dishonesty people and all that. You know, the law does not care about your emotions. The law cares about facts and the law itself. So at the end of the day, I believe William Ruto and his team are also prepared for what is going to happen at the Supreme Court. Remember, William Ruto started raising concerns this morning, saying that he's going to be represented for 2 hours, and the people that want to annul his win are going to be represented at the Supreme Court for 10 hours because 20 lawyers have been, those people want his win nullified, have been given 20 hours. To 20 lawyers, and each lawyer is given 30 minutes to present their case. And William Ruto has 4 lawyers that are going to represent him, which means now William Ruto is going to have 2 hours to be defended at the Supreme Court. And people want his win annulled, given over 10 hours, which means those are 20 lawyers and 30 minutes, each of them. And William Ruto has a lot of problems with Raila Odinga. He has a problem with the court system itself. Yesterday, I heard him say that he believes in Supreme Court. The other day, I heard him say that he believes so much in IEBC. But why change of tact? William Ruto keeps changing like a chameleon. For me, I would urge him to remain calm and wait what comes out of a Supreme Court. If this election was stolen, we shall start investigations from there on, so that people that are abated the will of the people that stopped the will of the people that stood on the way of a presidential candidate to becoming president in this country in the right way would be charged and also would be taken to prison, so that we can be able to teach the next generation of leaders and also people what electoral justice means. And also for us to move on as a country, we cannot be in place of one section of people today and tomorrow we turn against them. Even those commissioners that William Ruto has left out today, maybe tomorrow he may go ahead and also throw them under the bus. I can't trust him at this point. Thank you.
Okay, and the latest update is that ODM's Abdul Samad Nasir wins Mombasa governor seat by garnering 119,083 votes against the closest rival UDA's Hassan Omar, who got 98,108 votes. And we will get into that conversation of the selections that took place yesterday. Kiptanui Savania. Now, while Ruto wanted the dissenting IEBC commissioners removed from the case, and he was saying pleadings filed by the wrongly enjoined respondents would deprive the 9th respondent, that is President-elect William Ruto, an opportunity to respond to any of their claims, which action would violate the 9th respondent's inalienable right under Article 25, sub-article C, the application reads. So they're saying them being there will deprive the Deputy President Ruto from responding to any of their claims. I thought that would be a good opportunity for them to say what they're saying and for his legal team to respond to some of these claims and perhaps clear up the air. But of course, this has been struck out by the Supreme Court. So what does this mean to Ruto's team?
Thank you, Miriam. William Ruto is one of the dishonest person and hypocrite. We refer him as a hybrid political conman. You see, and you cannot jump today. You are speaking this tomorrow. It is not a new narrative, Miriam. As my brother Douglas has said, William Ruto is such a man who can even tell you, if he can tell you, I met your father in certain mall in Nairobi and your father died 20 years ago. It's a dishonesty. He's a man with he's a serial liar. You see, why when before we went for this election, he has a lot of confidence with IEBC. Now he's telling us the other commissioners will not let us track the affidavit because it will not actually give him a platform. You see, Miriam, there is something that William Ruto must tell us and must not be hiding together with Chebukati. As my brother Douglas has stated that if these elections were not stolen, why are you worried? If these elections, Miriam, were stolen, let us investigate, let us do the audit and see where the problem is. Miriam, from where I'm seated, I can see a situation in this country, Miriam, whereby whatever the Supreme Court actually will do, William Ruto and his supporters will not agree on that. Whether it is rerun or it is actually another recount of this election or of this vote. Why? It's because he has characteristics of a man, Miriam, who can even lie on your eyes. He has characteristics of a man who cannot be trusted. And I don't know those people who are representing him, like Professor Kindiki, who is a respected lawyer. You see, if you sit down and you cannot be able to advise your client that the law says this, the law says this, and then you are not even to speak anywhere. Miriam, I want also categorically to ask myself a very simple question. We have been having lawyers who have been bragging like Murkomen, like Samson Cherarge, and I could not see them. I've never had anybody whom these lawyers have been representing in our college. So it also gives me another doubt, Miriam, that it seems most of these people who are working with William Ruto bragging are not even qualified, or they have no idea about our laws, or they have no idea about our constitution. Miriam, the time is now. Or for these few days which we are going to see the showdown in Supreme Court, it is upon our competent Supreme Court judges, Miriam, to determine the direction of this country for another generation which will be coming. There is a generation which will come, Miriam, in future, and it will blame us when we will not be around in this country, that we entertain electoral malpractices, we entertain fraud, we entertain corruption and bribery, Miriam. There is something which is amazing this country, Miriam. Like yesterday, although we are moving towards there. You see, yesterday in Kakamega, somebody was snapped with 10,000 notes of 200 shillings denomination, fighting people. You see, there are a lot of things, Miriam. We have planned a lot of things as this election which has come to the end yesterday. We are learning a lot of things. We are learning, Miriam, if actually William Ruto is confident that he's going to win this case, he said he has confidence in Supreme Court, he has confidence in IEBC. Why hire 54 lawyers? So there are a lot of things, and I want to call William Ruto by his name. That be honest. Why are you jumping? Why are you speaking today? Why are you excluding Masif and the other commissioners? And they were together. They were together defending this election. They were together saying these elections are not transparent. In fact, Chebukati was speaking on their behalf. You see, let us not intimidate these people, Miriam. I think somebody told me Masif maybe have been intimidated because she's a Kalenjin. And when are we going to shun this tribalism? William Ruto, is it that if you are not going to become president of this country, what will happen to us? Are we not going to move? You have not been president since you were born. We had Jomo Kenyatta, we had Moi, we had Kibaki, we have Uhuru Kenyatta. If you cannot be president, it is not a matter of life and death. You just wait for Supreme Court. If it will say you stole election, wait for repercussion. If it will say you won fairly and declares you president, we will support you. We will not have a problem with you. But just wait and see what will happen. I submit, Miriam.
Okay, thank you so much. And of course, Nanok, who are the people who filed for this application. Nanok, on behalf of his party, Nanok in his affidavit also wants the papers filed by them, that is the 4 dissenting commissioners, expunged from the court record. The recent general election was held by the IEBC and not individual commissioners, says Nanok. So that is just some of the reasons they give. So now let's just get back to the elections that happened yesterday. And I think I'm right in saying it is a good morning for the Azimio coalition for especially the win in Mombasa County. Tawish, what are your opinions in regards to the elections that happened yesterday and the results that we're getting this morning? Douglas. Douglas, good morning.
Good morning, Miriam.
Yes, so the elections that happened yesterday and the results that we're getting this morning, I just gave an update a bit earlier on. Abdulsamad of ODM has been, according to the votes that were cast yesterday, is the winner of the Mombasa gubernatorial race, and among other wins, Azimio has been able to scoop from yesterday's elections. I think UDA got Rongai constituency, if I'm not wrong, yes, but majority, like the one in Nairobi, I think went to an independent, and Kitui, rural, went to a Wiper party, and others, different places went to parties affiliated to Azimio. What are your thoughts this morning?
Thank you, Miriam. It reinforces the fact that Azimio la Umoja was a very, very, very formidable opponent to Kenya Kwanza, and as we had predicted earlier, it also reinforces the fact that the Azimio la Umoja presidential candidate won that election that was stolen, and also it reinforces the power of the Azimio la Umoja movement. Remember, even in Meru, we had won, and except that by a few votes, that UDA took the ward seat, that is Nyaki West ward in North Imenti constituency, Meru County. Remember, Medeka Rinturi has also spent countless nights in that ward trying to convince people to vote for their UDA candidate, whereas Azimio la Umoja candidates have not been supported by anybody, including Kiraito Murungi. They have been on their own, but they have been able to pull a good surprise. And also, there's something I've seen in Mombasa that is very interesting, that also Raila Odinga reigns supreme in Mombasa as Joe, and also Suleiman Chabal and others. We were told that the entry of Sonko just comes from Nairobi, and we are told that in Mombasa that the reason why we cannot perform well as Azimio la Umoja is that Sonko has come, and Sonko is going to make Hassan Omar Salai the governor of Mombasa. It is impossible. It has now been proved so at the ballot. And also, in Kakamega County, we were told that Cleophas Malala is going to become the governor. And it has not happened. In Kacheriba, in West Pokot, where Cook has been able to win those seats, and also everywhere we've seen the hand of Azimio la Umoja triumphing over Kenya Kwanza. We've also seen that Raymond Moi has been able to fight off in Nakuru. But also remember that all the lieutenants of William Ruto descended on Raymond Moi's Rongai constituency. But we also thank the people of Rongai for giving Raymond Moi 10 years to be their MP. So it's not a roast to Raymond Moi, but it is also a roast to the people of Nakuru. You cannot vote for someone because he is in a particular party. You choose a leader that is going to lead you and also take you to the next level. We cannot begrudge them. It is democracy that they can be able to vote for a leader that they want. But also for the people of Mombasa who had every reason and every opportunity to vote for Kenya Kwanza, but they chose to go the way of Azimio la Umoja, and with a good margin, including in Kakamega. It is a good margin. Everywhere the margin is very, 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 very nice, except for Meru, where I'm saying the margin is very small for the MCA seat. But at the end of the day, it gives us an opportunity for us to be able to evaluate this election that happened on 9th of August. Did Azimio la Umoja really lose this election? If they can be able to perform the way they are performing in their strongholds in Kakamega, in Mombasa, and other places, did they lose this election? It is also going to form part of the issues that are going to be raised at the Supreme Court of Kenya. Because, Miriam, some of the things that we have seen happening that were done by IEBC, the election that was presided for by IEBC on 9th, amounts to a sham election, a stolen election, undemocratic election, an election that we cannot be able to verify. You can imagine stealing the vote for Fernandez Baraza, the way people voted, or stealing the vote for Sharif Nessil in Mombasa. At the end of the day, Miriam, what I can see from this pattern is that Azimio la Umoja is the people's darling. If truly Raila Odinga had lost that election, people would have abandoned him and voted for the president-elect side of coalition so that they can be in government. But the people of Kakamega spoke clearly on the ballot and said they want Fernandez Baraza of ODM. They want Abdul Samad and Sharif Nessil of ODM. And now, if these people, everyone there's a narrative that has been whipped for the last 2 weeks that everyone wants to be in government. But you ask yourself, did the people of Mombasa really want to go to opposition? Did the people of Kakamega, with all the leaders that they have, with all the times that they have been able to enjoy, even in labor movement with Atwoli at the hem and all that, did they really want to go to opposition? And the last question that we need to ask ourselves, ask IEBC, did you conduct a free and fair election on 9th of August? If these results are anything to go by. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much. Tawish, if you can hear me, good morning.
Good morning once more, Miriam.
All right. So we know after the postponement of the elections, especially in Kakamega and Mombasa, the gubernatorial races, there were allegations of voter suppressions, that perhaps IEBC was intentional in making sure that the ballot mix up. But those are just allegations. And so Are you surprised? Because we know Mombasa and Kakamega for the last couple of electioneering period, there have been ODMs, strongholds. So were you expecting, of course the Kakamega one has not been called out yet, but what do you make of what has just happened in Mombasa? They have confirmed that the ODM candidate has won, and of course in other areas as well that elections were held yesterday. Azimio affiliated parties got the majority. So what do you make of the elections that happened yesterday?
Thank you, Miriam. To me, it did not come as a surprise. And I hope to many Kenyans that the Azimio la Umoja One Kenya coalition is rather leading in both Mombasa and Kakamega gubernatorial contest because traditionally this has always been Right Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga's political bastions. And even if we were to go by the just concluded presidential election results, Raila Amolo Odinga was able really to beat Deputy President William Ruto in both Mombasa County in terms of the total votes that the presidential candidates got in those respective counties. And it was just widely expected that Raila Amolo Odinga ODM party was still going to beat in both Kakamega and Mombasa. And even if you are to look into it, Miriam, from a different dynamic in terms of the postponement and the kind of allegations that have characterized the postponement of these particular elections in these key counties of Mombasa and Kakamega, they just but remain allegations, far-fetched for that matter. You cannot quite quantify that IEBC did postpone the elections in these key counties for the simple reason that they wanted to suppress the voter turnout in Raila Amolo Odinga's, of course, perceived bastions, political bastions, if I should be specific. So generally, it has come to confirm that Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga remains, or rather has a firm grip in as far as the Kakamega politics is concerned, as well as Mombasa politics is concerned. And look into what happened, for example, in Rongai constituency, where one Raymond Moi, who reigns from the Moi family, has been beaten by one UDA candidate, a little-known UDA candidate in that particular constituency. So it was not quite a surprise because it was in the larger North Rift region was going to sweep a majority of votes, if not all, in those parts of the country. So, Miriam, to me, I'm not quite surprised. But again, the issue of whether IEBC did this deliberately to suppress voter turnout in favor of Deputy President William Ruto in as far as the just concluded presidential election is concerned is a matter of contestation because the Azimio la Umoja One Kenya coalition has already protested that, of course, postponement of that election. But, of course, it's a matter of investigation, it's a matter of how the courts are going to, of course, to go about the whole arguments about why exactly IEBC postponed this election. Of course, they have given reasons why they did so because of the mismatch of the ballot papers, those of Mombasa and Kakamega counties, and of course, the that we have had just the by-elections yesterday, that is Rongai as well as Kacheliba. So, Miriam, basically, this is just a confirmation that Raila Odinga still commands a majority following in those specific counties, and we want to see how this is going to pan out. But of more significance is that this is going to give Raila Amolo Odinga led Azimio la Umoja coalition really a big say in as far as the control of the COG, that is the Council of Governors in the country is concerned. Remember, they had about 24, if I'm not very wrong, 24 governors elected on Azimio la Umoja, of course, affiliated parties. And bagging these two, of course, seats of Kakamega and Mombasa is going to be very, very key in controlling the COG and, of course, the affairs of a majority of the counties in the country. So it was a very significant contest for that matter, one which Deputy President William Ruto himself really had so much interest, and so is Raila Amolo Odinga. So by the end of the day, once the Kakamega vote counting is concluded, we'll be able to determine exactly who would have won in this particular election. But also, suffice to say, Miriam, that you've seen this contest has been so close. You've just mentioned the numbers in Mombasa, 119,000 and for ODM, and the other candidate, of course, Hassan Omar, getting about 90-something thousand. It tells you this is a negligible difference between the two leading candidates in this particular gubernatorial race, and therefore,
is it really? It
does mean that
the difference is almost 20,000.
Yeah, it is negligible because if you are to compare, if you to do a comparative analysis between the previous elections, say 2013, 2017, and today 2022, Miriam, you can clearly tell that this was so close. The gap is not as big as it were in 2017 and 2013, when of course Hassan Omar won the Mombasa gubernatorial seat twice. In 2013 and 2017. So the difference between Abdul Samad Nasir and Omar Hassan of UDA is such small that it demonstrates Deputy President William Ruto is to some level making some very serious inroads in Raila Molo Odinga's perceived strongholds. And I think all this could as well been informed by the fact that Deputy President William Ruto has been, of course, named as the president-elect by the IEBC, owing to the just concluded presidential election. So in itself also, it was going to have a very big influence in terms of the voters coming out, and maybe the thinking probably that Deputy President William Ruto is the ultimate winner of the presidential election and therefore going to become our next president, or the fifth president for that matter. And therefore, if you had most voters who are undecided in terms of which side of the coalition really to support, most of them will likely settle on Deputy President William Ruto, of course, owing to the reasons that I've given. And that is why I advanced the reasons that we are having that very, very close or slim gap between the two candidates. But by and large, former Prime Minister Raila Odinga still remains a formidable force in those very respective counties. I submit, Miriam.
All right, thank you so much, Sam Otawish, for that. And just in case you're wondering, the court battle pitting Raila Odinga and the DP William Ruto will be starting at 11 a.m. at Milimani Law Courts with a pre-trial conference. Kiptanui Savania, your thoughts on the elections that were held yesterday and the results that we are receiving this morning?
Thank you, Miriam. Thank you. We lost the Rongai. Because you see, Miriam, people from Rongai, we cannot not debate so much because all over the country, all over the news, live stream, television. So UDA deployed two of their elected members, governor and member of parliament, to every polling station. And as you see, Miriam, also Rongai is a challenging territory, and you see, as president, the way these people perceive, you cannot go to a polling station and vote for somebody so that to go to opposition, and that is a useless narrative. This Rigathi Gachagua was here last time telling people if he's going to be in charge of army, and now you see we are in government, and you see, Miriam, most of the people in this Rongai are in villages. Most of the people are using Mulekamuzi, they don't know what will happen at the Supreme, at the Apex Court. Maybe they are thinking, now if we are not going to vote for Jabor, we are going to vote for Raymond, and William Ruto is now president. What will happen? Let us go now and vote for Jabor because it's for UDA, and because William Ruto will be president, he will be giving Jabor as their member money to come and develop the constituency. But I can't buy that narrative. Miriam, another thing I want to say is that congratulations to the governor-elect of Mombasa and all other these people who have been elected. This is a show that actually Azimio Umoja are still commanding some parts of this country, Miriam. And Miriam, as my brother Tarwish has said, these are allegations that actually maybe IEBC deliberately mixed up this ballot paper so that they measure and see if actually if William Ruto will cling to this seat, they will go there. It will be easy for them to go there and tell people, you see the way they have done in Rongai. And I think they were moving on this path, telling people we have the presidency now, vote for us. And that is why you see in county like Mombasa, that cap of 20,000 is a small cap compared to previous elections. And it brought a lot of impact, Miriam. So in a nutshell, I want to state the following, Miriam. One, in future, the IEBC, which is going to be constituted in future, let them do elections with a lot of credibility, with a lot of transparency, so that all the words from the constituencies, from the governor to the president level, people will enjoy their rights. Miriam, I can see a situation whereby maybe there are so many people, they could not travel to this constituency, they could not travel to these areas to cast their vote, unlike when we casted on 9. There are so many people, Miriam, they have not enjoyed their democratic right fought compared to the time that they fought at Miriam. And you see, maybe in some parts of the country, we could not be in a position actually to get these people to vote. Miriam, what my worry is that maybe if in case we are going to rerun Miriam, if we the Azimio la Umoja coalition and youth in Kenya Kwanza, we'll have a lot of hard time to campaign. They will have to pull resources to go and tell people to let us go back to and vote for us. Let us. I mean, see, Miriam, most of the people are sleeping hungry. Most of the people are battling with a lot of problems, Miriam. You see here in Nakuru, somebody is voting in Nandi County, in Nandi Hills constituency, and he has a shop around here. Tell me, Miriam, if that person will close the shop and go and vote for William Ruto and go and vote for Raila Odinga. So IEBC actually is a letdown. And I have come to realize it's not in this country alone, Miriam. We've been in different forums and different spaces in Twitter. And when you see people, not only from this country, Miriam, from other countries, speaking of electoral malpractice in their countries, to see what is happening with Africa. What is failing Africa, Miriam, especially in this process of elections, Miriam, is technology. Miriam, since we got independence, since we got self-rule in Africa, we have not put out structures to monitor these elections. We have not been in a position, Miriam, to have technology. And when we have technology, we go by prepping people. We don't have our men, we don't have our human resource here in this country, Miriam, to run this election, to run this technology. That is why we've been taken cycles. We are told there are Venezuelans who have asked, there are some foreigners who have asked. Miriam, before these foreigners come and ask these servers and ask these IEBC equipment which were meant for this election, Miriam, why don't we have capacity to train our youth, to train our youth, we have even one college which trains our youth on using this technology. What is happening with, I saw, Miriam, we only have 2 IT experts in this country, although they have so many, but those people who are coming out like Chichi and others, Miriam, why don't we make sure we have this capacity? Why don't we take our children to go and study in these other colleges in US or in UK or in other countries, so that we come up? Even you see, Miriam, when you see elections in US and other countries in this world, the rate of rigging is minimal. It is minimal compared to what is happening, so that we can no longer be subjecting people, Miriam, to many things. Now we have a lot of problems in this country. We could have been using those money which we might be using to run for another election, or to do other developments, Miriam. So it is a shame. It is shame, and we are moving to a very wrong direction in this country and other African countries, Miriam. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. And of course, another petition that was ruled against yesterday. The Supreme Court ruled against President-elect Ruto's petition to have the LSK barred from challenging his victory. The President-elect had argued that LSK would not be neutral, as one of the petitioners, that is Martha Karua, is a member of LSK and a former leader. I don't know if, anyway, it did not stand any grounds. It was struck out by the Supreme Court. Doc. He will be joining us shortly. But why do you think they did not want Martha Karua? Of course, they're saying because she was the leader of this organization earlier, and she's a member there, and so that is why they did not want LSK to be enjoined in this case. Samuel Tawish, why exactly do you think they did not want this to happen? Douglas.
Miriam, a very huge problem that I find with Mr. William Ruto is that he doesn't want LSK to be in that case because Martha Koome. I thought it's a joke until I read it, and because Martha Koome is a member of LSK, and his lawyers are also members of
Karua.
Yes, sorry, Martha Karua is a member of LSK. But Miriam, these things have happened before. It's absurdity that we are getting. It's absurdity that we are getting from William Ruto.
There's a point you're going to say there. Let me just remind you before you move on. His lawyers are also members of the LSK.
Exactly my point. If it's a man like Douglas Kiremi, if it's a layman like Douglas Kilemi who is taken to court to argue the case of William Ruto, I would agree with William Ruto, but it's a layman's land. Please, let's allow laymen to go out there and also agree on what to do at the Supreme Court. But if you cannot argue and tell us the Honorable Martha Karua is a member of LSK, you are a lawyer. Kithure Kindiki and others are members of LSK. Please, he should excuse us. Because Miriam, I even don't find glory in discussing William Ruto's perception on LSK being struck out because the Honorable Martha Karua is a member. What is LSK coming to add to the Honorable Martha Karua what she didn't have before? For example, if William Ruto's lawyer Kithure Kindiki is a member of LSK, is William Ruto telling us he does not trust the same LSK that has given a practicing license to Kithure Kindiki, or which certificates that the Kithure Kindiki has to practice at the Supreme Court of the Republic of Kenya? It emanates from LSK. LSK can be able to withdraw the practicing licenses of his people if they have been found to have committed something, maybe a gross misconduct. Their certificates can be withdrawn at whim. William Ruto arguments, Miriam, amounts to arrogance, like I've said, including when you read William Ruto's response from number 1 to number 10, all the rubbishing that he has done on the Right Honorable Raila Odinga's side. I believe, Miriam, that is his water roll. At the end of the day, William Ruto kind of responses are very emotional. The court does not care about your emotions, Miriam. The court cares about facts and the law. What does the law say? Which are the facts here? And then they will give a determination. They will give their ruling. Emotional outbursts do not work with the Supreme Court of the Republic of Kenya or any other court of law under the land, Miriam. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much.
In the land, sorry.
Very well, very well. And also another petition that was struck out yesterday was that of the Supreme Court rejects application seeking to strike out Attorney General and IEBC commissioners. I think we talked about that. And also struck out, dismissed Moses Kuria's petition ordering a refund of his 1 million Kenya shillings that he had deposited as a security. But I'm just curious to find out from you, Kiptanui, why do you think Ruto's team did not want the LSK to be part of that proceeding? I think we've seen them being part of the proceedings in any petition at the Supreme Court in the previous, petitions. They're saying Martha Karua one time was the leader of the LSK, and also she is a member. And I believe lawyers in this country are members of the LSK.
Miriam, as I said earlier, William Ruto is an hypocrite. He's an example of a double-speak person. Who is Nelson Navi? I thought Nelson Navi was immediate LSK chairperson. So I have no kind of what, Miriam, and I want to say this in one statement, that William Ruto is dishonest and is such a man who finds where he's being supported, he places. Where he seems to be not supported, he squashes that one. William Ruto is aware that he's losing this. Yes. So he actually wants to set a ground whereby after losing, he will be coming and tell his supporters, of which his supporters who has used this word of isolation to misguide them. That you see, even LSK, which was there, we don't agree with those results. We don't agree with Supreme Court, Kangaroo Court, Supreme Court. We will visit because they are the same person who is happened to be the deputy president for Raila Odinga is a member of them. And a layman person like me and other people in village does not understand that LSK, even the lawyers, those lawyers who are representing them in Miriam, are the members of LSK. So that is a dishonest and hybrid political comment.
Mm-hmm. All right. Thank you so much. Samuel Tawish, good morning. Very well. So just a quick summary of some of the petitions at the Supreme Court that we expect to hear about. The first one is from Raila Odinga and Martha Karua. They claim that the election was not conducted in accordance with the Constitution and election laws. The process was marred by irregularities such as manipulation of figures, and that the Azimio La Umoja One Kenya agents were denied access to polling stations. Okia Omotata, and 3 others. They challenged the presidential election results on grounds that none of the 4 presidential candidates, William Ruto, Raila Odinga, George Wajakoya, and Wahiga Maore, garnered 50% plus 1 vote as required by the Constitution. The other petition is from Khalif Khalifa and 3 others. They claim that the presidential election was badly managed by the IEBC since the chairman failed to involve the other commissioners in tallying and verification. And the other petition is from Julia Nyokabi and 2 others. They allege that the IEBC violated voting regulations on special needs by unlawfully excluding over 700,000 voters through failure to make provision for voting under special voting regulations. And the other petition is from John Njoroge Kamau. He claims that 2022 presidential election was not conducted in accordance with the Constitution and the applicable law, thereby rendering the declared result invalid, null, and void. And the next petition is from Youth Advocacy Africa and Peter Kirika. They argue that IEBC failed to comply with various election regulations and that it did not observe integrity rules by allowing candidates accused of engaging in fraudulent activities to participate in the presidential poll. The other one is from Ruben Kagame. He argues that the presidential election was invalid because the IEBC kicked him out of the race over failure to meet the set conditions. And I think he was cleared by the court, but still, IEBC did not include him. And then David Kariuki Ngari, he claims that IEBC chairman erred in announcing the final presidential election results without tallying and verifying results from 28 constituencies. Moses Kuria and Geoffrey Kingangi says theirs is a counter petition against Odinga's petition, and we know this one has been struck out, and they argue that Mr. Odinga is not entitled to the prayers sought because his agents caused violence and committed election offences at the Bomas of Kenya. So there is a tweet here I'm trying to get by Abdi Nasir. Let me see if I can get it. He's complaining over... okay. All right, so he's saying the Supreme Court is ready to go. The court has 7 judges, 3 women and 4 men. And then, no, there's another one earlier, complaining about the number of lawyers okay, the Supreme Court must urgently revise the rule of 4 lawyers per party it imposed. It is simply senseless. President-elect William Ruto and IEBC Kenya are defending 8 petitions, and you give them 4 lawyers, while a petitioner in a single petition will have 4 lawyers too. So he's saying it's not fair for the Ruto's team. Doc, I see you're ready to join us now. Very good morning to you.
Good morning, Miriam Ogutu. Good morning, Douglas Kirimi. Good morning, Kipnai Savenia. Thank you very much for joining us this morning as panelists, my good friends, my good Pan-Africanists, and my good sons. Thank you very much. Good morning, Miriam. First of all, I just want to be delighted and be happy that my cousin has delivered my brain in the petition. Congratulations, Miriam, is the best one you can say. My cousin is allowed, is also in the court. Our application quietly was not struck off. Thank you very much, Kirimi. There we go. Let's be there. And you can look through the applicants. You will know who Matanga's cousin is. Thank you very much. At least the 10 minutes that they will award us, our team, because some of us are online, he is the only one going to be given 10 minutes to address the court. He will raise the number of issues that touch regional peace, regional security, and the movement of the cargo. So that one, believe me or not, you can't say a man of that integrity can fail to say how the cargo was moved from A to B. You cannot tell where this thing, I've been telling you here on this television that the election was won in Bungoma, lost in Bungoma because of the number of votes that were cast, exaggerated, ballot stuffed, entry of ballots from different countries. Miriam Ogutu, our petition lands today in the Supreme Court. That is what we call strategy.
Doc, I'm being requested by production if you can have your mic on, and while you do that, yes,
Mic
I think
on. You mean you are not hearing me properly?
we can hear you, but I think the mic makes it better, Doc. As you even fix your mic, I don't know the results that you're getting this morning from the elections that took place yesterday. Azimio seems to be, winning majority of these positions.
Thank you very much, Miriam. Now the mic is on. I think you are hearing me properly.
Yes.
Now, one of the things that I did over the weekend in Mombasa was to activate my cells of the legacy. Thank you very much, the youth of Mombasa, those who came to meet me from Thursday evening, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. The Azimio group, thank you very much. I told you when we sat in the hotel that we had finished the job. I have floored one of the witness recruiters, a man who recruited witnesses to come and fix President Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta in the ICC, and to fix the same Ruto in the ICC, Hassan Sarai Omar. Thank you very much. That is all I wanted. In fact, now I can rest and go home. Sarai will not be the governor. Mombasa will not be under the governorship of a wrong man, a person who is always associated with terrible things that I cannot mention here on the television, that the national security will be involved in chasing, finding out what crimes he makes, he performs, whom is linked with. Thank you very much, the people of Mombasa, for listening to me, to us quietly. We did a great job. The people who came across, those who came and met me, thank you very much. And the legacy trend takes all leaders, all governors, Mama Getty, of the former MP, Mama Buyo, Miriam, all of us were together. We sat together.
We're having a problem with your connection.
The internet. My connection or your connection?
Yours.
My connection has not had any problem, I think.
It's okay now, we can hear you.
Okay, I want to thank the old Azimio Brigade. And I am very thankful to Chairman Badi, who linked me to Orengo and passed our message to Orengo. Thank you very much, Chairman Badi. The internet is gone again?
No, we can hear you now, it's okay.
Thank you very much, Governor of Homa Bay, Getty, the woman MP who did not make up her, constituency, Madame Buyo of Kisumu, I think somewhere there. We were all there. We sat long hours. We have been doing this. We did it. We did it. We did it. We did it. And I told Moses Kuria that on Tuesday morning, you better, since I have pardoned you about the money, forget about it, celebrate. But Hassan Omar will not pass through. That one is a very big victory for us. And the media, it shows that this election was gerrymandered on those two counties. Had these two counties, Miriam, come had these two counties voted along with on Raila Day, on the day Raila's vote was being counted, tell me, yes, tell me, and I tell you, in the name of God, we would have been very far. We would have been very far. Raila would have won without any problem. But Chebukati gerrymandered this election by cutting off, failing to show the cargo manifest. That would have shown where the things are, where the ballots, the pallets, the naming, the serial numbers were. Thank you very much for me. That's all I can say now this morning to you. I am here now to analyze the rest of what you want to ask me. Don't forget, trusted my application, entered that place. Thanks. And thank you very much. Look at the list, you will see there is a cousin of Dr. Matsanga there. Miriam, look at it. Guess and keep it yourself.
What list? I don't have it.
Huh? You don't have a list of rejected, of those accepted and rejected.
For the petitions.
Supreme Court. Yeah, you don't have. Okay, here where.
All right.
Still go to my Facebook. You'll draw the list there. It is there. You look at the people who have been accepted.
Okay. I'll take a look. Steve will share with me that list. So in the petition today, as we said, the court will be in session starting 11 a.m., so about 45 minutes away. And Mr. Odinga has 44 lawyers in his team and will be led by 4 senior counsels, Feroz Norji, Philip Murgor Okongo Omogeni, and James Orengo, the former Prime Minister, long-serving lawyer, and personal friend Paul Mwangi, will be on record, meaning all documents will be filed through his law firm. Mr. Mwangi will also lead a large team of researchers and other advocates that will offer support from the fringes. In Dr. Ruto's camp are 54 lawyers, led by 3 senior counsels, Fred Ngatia, Kioko Kilokumi, and Kirago Kimani. All documents will be filed by Kithure Kindiki Law Firm. Professor Kindiki will also lead the research team for Dr. Ruto's camp. And Doc, there's a question we looked at before you joined us. The 3 petitions that were struck off yesterday, and one of them was by Ruto, Dr. Ruto, who wanted LSK not to be a part of this case because they were claiming Martha Karua is a former led the LSK before, and she's also a member of LSK, and for that they don't feel like LSK will be neutral, because it is expected that LSK should be neutral in matters like this. And of course, the other one was to have not have the individual commissioners testify as individuals. They wanted the commission to testify as a commission and not individuals. So all of these prayers they had was struck out yesterday. I don't know, what are your thoughts on this?
First of all, why I'm shy, I am smiling with a long smile, Miriam, because it means Ruto and Matsanga, the brains are very far. How do you come to suggest to the court who should be struck off and not struck off? The commissioners have distanced themselves. They have a right to be heard by the court, and the court is looking for the evidence to pin it on the Constitution. Was this election conducted in a very free, fair, transparent, verifiable manner? What are the new the 4 commissioners bringing in? They're bringing in that evidence to tell the court that we are here as a testimony. We did not do this, we did not do that, we did not do that, we did not do that. It was up to Ruto himself to have prepared affidavits, which he can't prepare now, to attack any of the 4 commissioners individually if he had any case. So for me, when you talk about strategy, strategy is the most important thing in any war. If you are fighting a war, Douglas, you use a strategy. You can't just come and say, I was an employee, for example, of X, when you don't have a strategy. And when they ask you, where was the stone? You say, I was the stone. No, you can't come and say, I'm a soldier in the army. When they ask you which barracks you were in, you don't know. So the court is seeking Miriam to find out, how did you commissioners? And the worst thing is, Ruto is seeking to only, have you heard the mess? He's seeking to bar 4 instead of barring all of them.
And you know,
have you seen?
Do you know, Doc, I was looking at that story, sorry to interfere with your thoughts there. He actually left out the 2 commissioners from the 4 dissenting ones and included
Exactly.
Molu and the other one as the commissioners that Chebukati has been having a problem with. He left out Masit and another commissioner, so you wonder what is really going on.
He did not Lasit.
Oh, he left those 2 out. Let me just look.
The 2, Guyo, the professor and the Boyo.
Let me just read to you. So pleadings filed by the wrongly enjoined respondents will deprive the 9th. All right. So they left, although the 4 are against Chebukati, that is Francis Wanderi, Juliana Cherera, Justus Wanyangaya, and Eileen Masit, declaration, Ruto's lawyers have named Boya Molu, Abdi Gulie, Nyangaya, and Cherera as those who are at loggerheads with Chebukati. The lawyers have left out Wanderi and Masit.
Aha! He wanted to divide the 2. But the court has struck and said they are there.
Because they already filed their affidavits now.
Yes. So they are there. Now, you know why he wanted? Because like Kajagwa has been harassing the other lawyer, the other, commissioner. And they have also been harassing the lady, Masit. Have you seen? To try to change her statement. And she has said, no way. We didn't know anything. And this was the case. Have you seen how they selected? Now the court looked at that and they said, why is he selective? Why? Why is he selective? Whichever way, Miriam, this thing goes now, the alternative which I suggested, you remember the 2 words that I said, the 3, recount, retally, and rerun. Recount, retally, the 3 errors. The 3 errors are where this petition lies. There is no upholding. I don't think the judges can uphold such a messy election where ballot papers were found in Mombasa when they are supposed to be in Kakamega. Yes, Miriam.
And also, I think there's a story I was reading in one of the papers this morning, I can't remember where the Azimio team was saying that everything that was said, especially from the press conference that we saw the other day by Tuju and the things that he brought out, and the fact that Chebukati has not bothered to respond to any of this. Are we perhaps hoping that through his lawyers they will respond to those claims in court, or why do you think he has been quiet?
The National Security NSAC are the same people who tape you. How do you claim to have taped them? Thank you.
We had not looked at that story, but thank you so much for bringing that up. So maybe I'll just give
the
us a little background.
National Security Agents
Committee
is the one that tapes your phones. They know whom you are talking to. It's the security organ, the final organ constituted by the government, the Constitution of Republic of Kenya. it has a right to come in to ask you. They are not coming in to ask you to change the results. They want you to give them the timetable when you want to announce these results so that they can deploy the police, they can deploy the army to safeguard our boundaries, they can deploy the security agencies to gather intelligence on how the reactions will be to safeguard, stop the repeat of 2007. There is no case there. You can't use a blah, 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 blah. They are the ones who tape you. How do you think they are stupid? They allow you to come with a pen, a typewriter? Where? Chebukati's phone was never, he has admitted he never picked their phone. So they came for him. In fact, if it was General Gianga of 2007, he would have been arrested. Chebukati, you are lucky. If it was General Gianga, the one who picked the Chibuntu, and told him, you are messing this country. These were civilized people. They came to ask, they are entitled. They are entitled because tomorrow their jobs are online if they allow mayhem in this country. If they tell you that the results, the conduct, the National Security Agency has a right. It overrides all institutions. Miriam, can you hear me again? They override all institutions in this country. If they say, Mr. Matanga, close this TV and leave now. You hear me, my sister? I will go. I can't go anywhere. There is no other place. Even if I go to court to seek an order, they will say no, for security reasons. We have recommended that Dr. Matanga has to close the television. This National Security Agency, National Security ANZAC, yes. It is a body in any country, like a cobra. The cobra in Britain, once it says, we are taking a decision to defend the United Kingdom from foreign aggressors. Who sits on the cobra? The Prime Minister, the Defense Minister, the Air Marshal, the General of the Army of Britain, the Security Agency, MI6, MI5, the National Police Commissioner, Inspector General of Police, the leader of opposition. Have you seen the Cobra? The Attorney General of Republic of United Kingdom. Then the Queen is told of what decision they have taken. That's what the Cobra is, a defense. It is the final body of security. It has analyzed security that Britain is under threat. Under threat of people, therefore we are going to war to defend the sovereignty of United Kingdom. Miriam, can you query them? Can you file a stupid application that you are filing an affidavit on the security agencies? Who is going to call these guys there? They are the people tapping your phone, then you claim to have tapped their phone. Surely? They can even zoom your phone now, and that information is not available. Surely? That's why you're asking the question, why is Chebukati silent? Because the video is not there. Have you seen? Perhaps the video is not there now. Can we talk about it again? Perhaps Chebukati's video is saying the video must have been taken away because you touched them who actually decide. Douglas Kirimi, let him come in. I have not seen him for some time. I don't see his face. What happened to Sabania?
They were here. I think we started exactly at 9.
Yes, Douglas, can you make some comments now?
Thank you, Doctor.
Why are you hiding?
I'm sick.
Oh my dear. Okay, you never told me.
I've been sick since Friday, so that's why I missed on Sunday.
Oh, the cough.
Yes, but I tried yesterday and did the show, and I've also appeared this morning again.
Yeah, I can see. Oh, sorry, my son, but it's okay. You should have called me. One call or text can do quietly, so that I know. But thank you very much. Don't talk too much now, so that let me do the talking. Mine is not bad. Let me do the talking. But these are the points. In Kakamega, we are through. In Mombasa, we are through. In Pokot, we are through. Both seats in Pokose and another one, we have captured those. We have lost Moi's son, the last one. Gajagwa, because of the family rivalry. I think he never got anywhere from Moi's family because it's rumored that he's also the Moi's son. So he went for his last brother to extinguish him from from the leadership of this country. So that's okay. So far, so good. I don't know the parliament. When are they choosing the speaker of parliament?
After they've been sworn in.
Yes.
There is something I've also found to be very interesting, based on the voter turnout for, not voter turnout, the way people have voted, and I raised the same concerns here earlier today. In Mombasa, people chose, if truly you had won the presidential vote to be the president of the Republic of Kenya, if it's Raila who had to be declared the president of the Republic of Kenya, people would obviously vote for the candidate that is fronted by Raila Odinga. If it is William Ruto, they would have definitely voted for Omar Salai, and also voted for Cleophas Marara in Kakamega and Kacheriba and Pokot South and every other place, Dr. David. But these people decided that they are going to vote for people that are affiliated to Azimio en masse. And also in Rongai, I was surprised. They said that no vote should be voted in the name of Raymond Moi in Rongai, but he had over 10,000 votes. And that shows that the confidence that the people have in Azimio, and sweeping every other seat except a UDA ward level seat and also an MP seat in Rongai, constituency in Nakuru, shows that the Azimio is strong. And this is the question that I asked. Did it truly Azimio or Umoja lose this election if people are still so much invested in Azimio and they are voting for their candidates en masse? Because Azimio has been campaigning for their candidates from Mombasa to Kakamega, from Kacheriba to Pokot South, and every other place where Azimio has gone to campaign for their candidates, including in Kitui Rural, in Ukambani, in Kitui County. Did Azimio lose this election? And if they did not lose this election, can we get a white smoke from the Supreme Court that now takes us to set the precedence for the next battle of all battles? Can we go for a rerun? Since this election was permitted with a lot of stealing of votes, the rigging has been widespread. And at the end of the day, can we investigate these people who have presided over sham elections in this country? Because if in Mombasa County, people have defied even the president-elect, the deputy president-elect Rigathi Gachagua not to vote for Omar Salai, and also in Kakamega, They have said that they are not going to vote for anyone that is affiliated with William Ruto. Why are the people, the ordinary Kenyans, running away from a government that is being formed by William Ruto's sign of coalition? Why are they not voting for people that have been declared president and deputy president elect and been given the certificate? Why are the people going to opposition, perceived opposition, if that is the case? This shows us one thing, Dr. David, that the people believe, ordinary people believe, that the Azimio la Umoja truly won the election, and this election was rigged. And this shows even in the pattern of the way the people are voting. And that now gives us a clear glimpse of what is going to happen even at Supreme Court. These judges should also see that the ordinary people still believe in the Right Honorable Raila Odinga, kind of honesty, electoral integrity, and now a time has come for us as a country to entrench electoral justice in our systems, such that in future we shall not have another Chebukati, such that in future we shall not have another kind of the commissioners that have conspired to subvert the will of the people, take it away from them and hand it over to electoral bandits in this country. For us to continue punishing electoral bandits, we must deal with electoral justice in this election and entrench it in our culture as a country. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Comrade Miriam. I think we have done our best, my sister. We leave the rest of 26 minutes as we prepare to switch our gears and broadcast live from the Supreme Court. Thank you very much for being there for me and for standing as we walk through the waters, the murky waters of this election. And thank you very much. I would like to take these 26 minutes to call upon all of you to prepare, and Stephen to prepare, and that's it. Thank you very much. Douglas, thank you very much, my dear brother. Drink more of cough mixtures, if it is the cough, because you are already vaccinated, so there's no worry of anything, isn't it? I will talk to you there shortly. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much for watching. And in case you were wondering, the Supreme Court will, for the next 5 days, starting today, be the theatre of political and legal showdown like no other, as a deeply fractured independent electoral and boundaries commission fights to save its credibility in the Ruto versus Raila election dispute, and whether the judges decide will stand out. Wafula Chebukati had a war chest of more than 40 billion Kenya shillings to conduct a free, fair and credible elections, and the very fate of the country was placed in his hands. Did he deliver? That is on the front page of the Daily Nation, and that is what Kenyans will be waiting to see play out there at Supreme Court. And as Doc has said, the proceedings are meant to start at 11 a.m. at the Milimani Law Courts. So we shall take you there.
Surprisingly, Miriam, Mr. Wajikoya has just arrived.
Yes, yes.
I think he has a client, he's representing us. Now you can see, I am telling you where the petition went. He has a client there.
Yes, he just arrived earlier.
He has a client.
Yeah.
But you have seen the list, an expert of, you can see where we have our information.
All right, we'll see you later then. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.
Okay, thank you.